Welcome to the Morning Sanity Check, where we talk about the different pillars of resilience: spiritual, physical, social, and mental. Join us so we can talk about it, then be about it. Let the show begin.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sanity Check. My name is Seth.
And I'm Camille.
Yes, we're here to make sure everything is good with you and everybody around you. But the main thing is making sure that you are staying sane and you are coherent. Okay, so good morning. And so before we go into it, like we always do around this time, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so that your comments can be posted. Right on. So how you doing, Camille?
I'm doing good. I'm in another location, as you guys can see. I'm here in Texas with my father and his family. And so things are good, doing the best that I can, helping out where I can, but grateful to be able to still come on this show, even when I'm away from home. So, yeah.
Yes, that is good. Very grateful for that. And, grateful for the technology to be able to do that. Because I know it was a couple of times I was different places, but still willing, to come on and being able to come on. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're on, make sure you share this and just say hello and just say good morning, because this is going to be some real good stuff. We're going to be talking about practicing gratitude all year round. Now, it's no secret Thanksgiving is around the corner, and what that represents different things to different people, which is okay, all right? But some people utilize that day to say we are thankful and grateful for certain things. However, aren't you grateful for things all year round? You get what I'm saying? Like, things didn't become good on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Things aren't just great when you want them to be. So We're going to be talking about, but good morning, everybody. Good morning. Share this. Let us know that you shared this. And also let us know where you're watching from. That's important, just to let us know that the good news is getting everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to let you kick it off, Camille. What you got?
All right. Good morning. So we are talking about thankfulness, gratitude, whatever you want to call it. So I just want to talk about what gratitude really is. So it's a thankful appreciation of what an individual receives, whether tangible or intangible. So that's the dictionary, kind of definition to it. And there's so much that showing gratitude and gratefulness does for our emotions. All right. So psychology. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the psychology of happiness and positive psychology, but the overarching theme is that gratitude and thankfulness really does so much to strengthen social relationships. It helps when we apologize, showing people thankfulness for what they've done for us, our children, people in turn. And it's also reciprocal. Let me say that too. When you show gratefulness or thankfulness to someone else, typically it lifts their spirits as well. And they in turn start treating other people different and start thanking other people. So gratitude really is that real appreciation. And it's not just a thank you. It's a deep appreciation that really, really stirs up an emotion in you. And so then his name is Robert Emmons, if you guys have ever heard, and he's like the world's leading scientific expert, on like gratitude. So he is the man of the man. And he defines it in two different ways. So he said it has two components. And the first is the affirmation of goodness. Right. So the affirmation of it. And, we say, yes, there are good things in this world. There are gifts and benefits that we've received. Things don't have to be perfect, but we decide that we want to focus on the things that we do have. And then the second part of it is really figuring out where that gratitude comes from. It's not just enough to say, thank you for the food that I have, but somebody had to work to get that food, so we recognize the source of the goodness being outside of ourselves. And it's something about when we come outside of ourselves that does something else, that somebody did this just for me. Somebody took out their time in their day just for me. So, gratitude really is that deep deep appreciation. And I know when I first started, really kind of thinking about gratitude, I went down the, I'm thankful for waking up this morning. I'm thankful for all the things that I have. And I never really took the time to do a deep dive into that, what do you say? Not the materialistic goodness, but like that deep down goodness. And when I started doing that, I got this joy on the inside of me, that no matter what is going on in my life, I have so many things to be grateful for or thankful for, and not take for granted the things that I have, like doing this, or the technology, like we talked about, working, you know what I mean? And then where did that come from? Well, I'm borrowing my dad's Wi-Fi that he's paying for. I appreciate him for that, because I didn't have to buy my own puck. You know what I'm saying? And, the being able to have equipment that I can carry around with me in my little suitcase, Seth bless me with this little microphone that I'm able to travel with. So thank you, Seth. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I can't do what I'm doing the way that I'm doing it without you. So I appreciate you for everything. And I just want to start off this day by saying that, it is not by chance that I'm here. It is not by my own might that I'm here. It was because of what am I trying to say? Seth giving me the opportunity to do that, to reaching out and say, hey, come on. And then can you stay? And I just so appreciate you for that. And, that's why we're here, talking about these things. So yes, gratitude just really is a positive emotion, and it changes everything. And when I say it changes everything, they've looked back for, in ancient times with some of the greatest philosophers and psychologists, the Ciceros and things like that. And there has always been a study of positive psychology, specifically surrounding gratitude. And it's unbelievable when I started reading about it, just kind of really how deep it goes in really changing the way that we look at things, how we operate, just everything. It just really is very, very important for our day to day.
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. So what you think, Seth? So I'm just going to ask you today, before we get started, what are you grateful for today?
All right. I'm grateful for waking up, because I always like to say, it wasn't guaranteed. Nobody said I had to wake up. And so I'm grateful that I was proven, wrong.
Yes.
I'm glad I was proven wrong. Say, nope, you got something else to do. I'm grateful for everything that we are doing today. I'm grateful to be able to reach individuals around the world. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the individuals that's receiving some of this good news today. You're right. I'm grateful for being able to still have a breath of encouragement, to give to individuals. And also, I'm grateful for the things that didn't go right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to really get into that and dive in deep as far as what that looks like. But not just that, I'm also grateful, incredibly grateful for our sponsors. So we're going to take a little pause for the calls for our sponsors, and make sure y'all stick around. We will be right.
Integrity Consulting and Professional Services, LLC, is a minority, female-owned, nonprofit management consulting agency located in Humble, Texas, north of Houston. The owner, Jackie Dozier, has over 36 years of nonprofit and for-profit business management experience. She can take your idea from thought to manifestation while offering a myriad of services to help you successfully manage your business along the way. Her services include state filing anywhere in the United States, getting your employee identification number and 501c3 tax determination, providing cooperative and service agreements and mandatory documents, one-on-one grant writing training and consultation, board and staff development, and more. Ms. Dozier's clients include the U.S. Departments of Health and Human Services, the Administration of Children and Youth, U.S. and Caddo Parish, Louisiana Departments of Education, and the list goes on. References are available. Check her out on our Facebook page, Integrity Consulting and Professional Services, LLC, and contact her by email at integrityconsultingpsllc@gmail.com. Rates are competitive. Say you heard about her on Sanity Check for a 5% discount. ICPS, providing all of your small business and grant writing needs with integrity and professionalism.
Yo, look, that song got me swinging. I love that. I love it. I'm in the back like ding, ding, ding.
I was doing the same thing. I was just up here.
Grateful for that. You know what I mean? Grateful. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, we want to say good morning, good morning, good morning. Please let us know where you are right now, where you're watching this at, and let us know that everything is good with you. So, good morning, everyone. Oh, and by the way, too, if you're just tuning in, you want to make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so that your comments can be posted. Okay, so your comments can be posted and we can have this interaction because this is good stuff. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to be talking about is ways to really dive into the gratitude, but throughout the year. Like I started off, it's very important to practice gratitude, but it's also important to make sure that it's not a chore. Okay, it's not a chore. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to practice it so that it can become, second nature. But I'm just going to give you a little bit about it. So here's one. Don't be picky. All right. Don't be picky. Meaning things don't have to be grandiose for you to say, I'm thankful for that. Wait a minute. Hold on, look, be thankful for the little things. So don't be picky, right? Appreciate everything. So gratitude doesn't have to be saved for the big things in life, right? The habit of being grateful starts with appreciating every good thing in life and recognizing that there's nothing too small for you to be grateful for, nothing too small, right? Like we talked about a little bit earlier, the breath. You know what you do? Listen, that's something your body do naturally that you can take for granted. You know what? I'll be real quick. I remember this time, Camille, and ladies and gentlemen, my daughter was like, Daddy, I want something for Christmas, right? She's giving me all this stuff for Christmas that she wanted, right? I'm like, okay. And then I say, okay. So she said, yeah, and I want this. And I said, you know what? I got you something better than that. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, you want to see it? She's like, yeah. I said, all right, just wait. And then so she kept talking about, Daddy, what is it? What is it? I said, okay, all right, it's time for me to show you. So I said, you ready? She said, yeah. So we going around the house. She said, is it in here? I was like, nope. Is it in here? I said, nope. Is it in here? I said, no. And then she said, where is it? I'm going to tell you what I did. I reached over to the light switch and said, blah, blah. Go. Merry Christmas. You understand? Why you think you're supposed to have lights? You
didn't do that, baby, like that.
Hey, Merry Christmas. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, she get everything that she ever wants, but I need her to recognize. Look at this. Click, click, click.
You're right, though.
Hey, man. Hey, check it out. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. You feel me? So, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my goodness.
Look, it's the little things. It's the little things. It don't have to be big. Right. So let us know, even while we're talking, let us know what what you're grateful for, even the small things. So, Camille, what do you think about that? Not my situation, because some people might think that's wrong. I don't care. It's my house. But
I can't stand you.
What you think, though, about, celebrating the little things?
I think that that's very, very important. If you wait for all the big things to happen, you miss so many little things that people have gone out of their way to do for you, or that you've done, or that have happened to you come your way. But remember I think it was a couple months ago, we talked about the importance of those little deposits, because that's that money in the bank. When you have those deposits of gratitude, of thankfulness, little here and there, you put those things in your, bank of positivity. Yeah. When something negative comes around, and it knocks you off, it takes a little bit withdrawal, but it doesn't bankrupt you.
Yes.
Because you have so much left in you. So you're like, yes, like you said earlier, this bad thing happened. However, I still got positivity in the bank. I still have my children. I still have the use of my limbs. So we cannot minimize the importance and the impact of celebrating the small things.
There you go.
They're so important. So I think you spot on with that one. Spot on with that one.
And I think it's important. I think it's important for us to let our children know, because I don't know. Listen, there's so many names. You got the millennials and the Generation X and Gen X and you know, Walmart. I don't know all these names, right? And I don't really care, but I think that it's our responsibility as being adults and parents to let the next generation know, hey, it could be this way, okay? And you got this that I didn't have. I'm not only grateful for this, but this is something that you can think about, that you can be grateful for. It might be small to you right now, because think about it, you got these kids that's in elementary schools with tablets, computers. It wasn't until I was in high school when we, you know, these coming out building programs and they can barely make their own cereal. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? So grateful for the little thing.
Absolutely.
Sound little genius. Let me tell you something. But anyway, so what's your other point?
So it, you know, with positivity, like we were talking about, those celebrating those small things, putting money in that bank, it has a lot of health effects, you know, and benefits to gratitude, or practicing gratitude daily or weekly or whatever you choose to do. So Robert Emmons, that same, you know, world's leading scientist on this gratitude thing, he did a couple of, and it's not just him, but across the field of psychology and things like that, they've done different types of studies on people. So they've taken groups, and it's one particular one. He took a group of 1,000 people, and they actually, when I say that, you know, it has a psychological effect, gratitude can be measured. A lot of things when we talk about, you know, morale and things like that, it can't be measured, but gratitude can be measured. And so what they found was, once they did a gratitude journal, so they made them journal for so long and everything like that. And for the individual, what they found was they had increased happiness and positive moods. They were more satisfied with their life. Again, you're looking at all the good stuff instead of, you know, looking at the one bad thing that happened to you. They became less materialistic. Because the meaning, when you attach meaning to those things, you realize it's not about the material thing itself. It's about the person behind it. You know, they were less likely to experience burnout. They had better physical health, less fatigue. They slept better. They had lower levels of cellular inflammation. If you guys don't know what that, you know, your body gets all inflamed and stuff like that. But they had lower levels of inflammation in their body. They had greater resiliency skills, and gratitude is a resiliency skill. And then they encouraged the development of like patience, humility, things like that. And there were other studies that were done that had similar effects, you know, in different groups. So, and then for group settings, they also did it for like work centers and things like that. And what they found was that showing gratitude, it really increased the pro-social behaviors. All right. Social gratitude. I mean, the effects of gratitude on the social realm is also great. I'll talk about that later, but it strengthened the relationships within the teams. It helped the employees' effectiveness, and it increased their job satisfaction. So there are so many benefits, not only to an individual, you know, in terms of health and just the way that they operate, but also when you do these gratitude practices in groups, you know, having those people, you know, write a little bubble, say something about a person, write something else, and everybody goes around and says a good thing about that person. It increases the bonds in the work center. Therefore, when people are happier, they work harder and work better. So, of course, they increase the effectiveness of whatever that they were doing. So there's been tons of studies on that gratitude really, really changes your life. It reduces your stress, helps you sleep, all the things that I talked about. And so gratitude is important for your physical health as well, and your mental health.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Yeah, I agree. And it's important. And you know what, my man's Giovanni, look where you put. He said, gratitude is the medicine for stress and mental trauma.
Yes.
And I appreciate you saying that because you're absolutely right. And for those of you that don't know, I have the honor actually to be working with the Wounded Warriors. And if you don't know, the Air Force Wounded Warriors it's an organization that helps individuals that have experienced some type of trauma, either invisible or visible trauma, and to help them cope. Not just themselves, but also their caregivers. And so this is a program to wrap their mind around what is actually happened and to get them back reintegrated either in the military or in a civilian life. And so it's part of my position. What I do is help individuals focus on the little things that matters and not just the big things, right?
Absolutely. And to his point, even if anybody out there is psychology majors, Martin Seligman, he's like a pioneer in the field of positive psychology. He said that if a person could only do one thing to increase their health and their happiness, gratitude might be it. It is that powerful, that it really does increase your health and your happiness.
Absolutely.
Period. And then they said that, even when a person experiences gratitude or shows gratitude, it releases the dopamine in their brain. Right.
Absolutely.
So we know what that is. It's a neurotransmitter produced in areas of your brain, whatever. So it releases the dopamine, which makes you just feel better. Just the simple act of saying thank you has to take you mentally to another place that releases that dopamine. Yeah. So yes, it is. It doesn't have to be, like you said, grandiose or anything like that, but it works. It works. You know what I mean? And I know you've been doing this for a while, Seth, and I'm just to ask you because, once you start doing it as a routine and tell me about a time when you were like not feeling good, and then maybe you use some of the strategies to help kind of, increase your mood or your happiness, or to say, you know what, I ain't going down this road. Because I know you talked about that earlier, and I want you to kind of talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. So I have those times more often, right? But the thing is, practicing gratitude, you have to do it deliberately.
Yes.
You feel me? Because we are in a place where it's so easy to have doubt, have insecurity. It's so easy to jump up on Facebook and see somebody that's doing something that you want to do, but you can't do it. And all of a sudden now you feeling away, right? Now you're starting to covet their stuff, right? So it's easy to do that, but I have to battle with it every day. So what I do is I make sure I keep little things around my home or around my space, so that boom is something that I can be grateful for. Right on. The simplest thing. For example, while I'm driving, I have a little picture of my son by my speedometer. So when my mind starts drifting and I start thinking about all types of crazy stuff, first of all, I want to make sure I'm not speeding. And then when I look at that right out my peripheral, I can see that, like, you know what? I got somebody that's looking at everything that I'm doing. Or if not, I have somebody that is trying to chart out their life based off of how I chart mine. So I'm grateful for that. Let me chill out and not worry about this Mustang that's next to me, right? That I probably want, but I don't need. So it's little things like that. So you have to deliberately put things in your life to show you that, hey, you can be grateful for this. And one last thing too, what was the name? Oprah. Yes. She has a quote that says, if you count the things that you're grateful for, you won't have time to count the things that you don't have.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to do to make sure, do I really need that? And what do I really have? And then what I have is what I have already.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So is it, and not just that, watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Am I even using what I have?
Bingo.
Chances are you probably don't even know how to use what you have, but you want something else. You see? Right. And then when you can't get that something else, now you start feeling bad and start going through some craziness. See?
Absolutely. I listened to Oprah's Gratitude this morning. Mm-hmm. she's my one of my favorite, her and Denzel, when it comes to like the little podcasts and stuff on gratitude. Mm-hmm. Because it does help put things in perspective, but like you were talking about all that, we have so much stuff that we take for granted that we don't need. And we haven't used, yet we're always looking for the next thing and not being grateful for what we already have, and it just shifts our focus to a negative place, to a place of lack, to a place of, discontentment, to a place of all this stuff, when you can just look around and say, good God, you know what I mean? I got this. I was going to say iPhone 7, but I just changed my phone, but I had it for years and I wouldn't have turned it in if it wasn't acting up so bad, because I was like, I got a phone that works. So I don't, in my mind, I was like, I don't want another bill. Just paid for. I'm good, but I'm grateful that I was able to get a new phone when I needed one so I can continue to do the things that I do. But we have so much that we take for granted that we have. And instead of taking stock of what we do have, we always look at what we don't have. And it really takes something out of you. So, just thinking about that, I'm thinking, taking stock of my house right now, actually, in my mind.
You got to. And don't get me wrong, it's natural, ladies and gentlemen. Look, it's natural. And listen, this isn't a holier than thou. This ain't something that we're gurus. And listen, dealing with this every day. Wait, not even that. Let me get real. Every day. You feel me? Because the thing is, it's natural. Yes. But you have to hold yourself accountable and say, you know what? Nope, I ain't falling into this mess.
Yes.
Right? Like, nope, that's not it, because it's not that serious. And that's not, put it like this. If you see something that you want based off of the things that you have, now question your intentions. If I want this, is it that I'm going to, am I going to feel better because I can show someone else what I have and then show them I got something over them? That means the intentions ain't right. Right on. But think about if you want something that you don't have and what you want can enable other individuals to get more. That might be something. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So kind of use that as a barometer. Now, if you're trying to do it just to show off and say, hey, you ain't up on this, why? See, that means you're out of line. And that means you need the sanity check. Can you dig it?
I can dig it. Dig it. You can want stuff, just be able to, pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have to.
Yes. Want versus need. That's
a whole nother subject right there.
Yes. And so, yes, there's always a reason to be grateful. But hey, guys, I'm going to, ladies and gents, family, we're going to go into another transition. But before we do, going to take some time for our sponsors. Make sure you stick around and share. Make sure you utilize this time to share. And if you need these services, you reach out to these professionals. Okay, we'll be right back.
If you're looking to buy or sell anywhere across the 50 states, contact Jamila Seals. Jamila is a realtor with Keller Williams Marquis who exudes credibility, commitment, and determination while serving the Metro East and Scott Air Force Base, Illinois areas. Her warm and friendly approach, combined with unparalleled communication skills and enthusiasm for helping others, allows her to connect and provide clients with the best possible service and experience. There are 3 things she does with and for her clients. First, negotiate deals for you. This means she'll treat your money like it's her money. Second, guide you through a simplified process, which means she'll provide sound advice to ensure you make an informed decision in identifying or choosing the right house for you. And last but not least, creative marketing. She'll provide a cutting-edge marketing plan that's tailor-made for you. Bottom line, she's going to get the job done properly and not let you down. So if you're searching for your new dream home, give Jamila a call today at area code 618-202-8751. Again, that's 618-202-8751.
All All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, you're swinging to the music and you dig it? Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So again, just grateful for everybody and everything, even our sponsors. And for you that's watching right now, we're grateful for you. And please make sure you share this, because this is some good stuff that individuals may be able to use and be able to incorporate in their life. So we're talking about gratitude all year around. And again, if this is your first time on, welcome. Good morning. Welcome. And yes, and also if you're on Facebook and you want to make sure your comments is up, go to facebook.com, or I'm sorry, StreamYard.com/Facebook, so we can interact with you. Now, still in that same vein of gratitude, I'm going to talk about something different. And I alluded to a little bit of it with the wounded warriors, but it's not just the wounded warriors, it's actually ourselves. So we have to be able to find gratitude in our challenges. And what does that mean? So gratitude is not only about being thankful for the positive experiences. In fact, sometimes thinking about negative or difficult situations can help to really nail down what you have to be thankful for. Make sense? So, and it's funny because we don't necessarily think about that sometimes. So when you can take time away and dig a little deeper into some of your own past experiences and try to figure out how they have helped shape you into the person you are today, then you can look back and say, yo, I'm grateful for that experience, right? I'm grateful for, you know, what did not go right. You get what I mean? Yes. I'm grateful for the tragedy that actually happened. And then when I talk about the wounded warriors, or even individuals that's not in the wounded warriors, think about those individuals that have fought with addiction, right? And they have, you know, they won that battle. So now they can look back and say, you know what, I'm grateful that I went through it, and now I'm able to be a testimony, give a testimony to someone else that's currently going through it, and let them know, hey, you can do this. And I'm grateful that that happened so I can be a light in your life. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what I want you guys to kind of think about right now. Not just the good things that happen. Look at those bad things and look at the things that you actually went through to help enable you and others. Because and I'm gonna let you think about this too, or speak on this, Kamel. Think about the things that you went through at that time. You was like, what in the hell? Like, you're like, wait, why me? Like, out of all the people, listen, I pay my taxes. I love my mama. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, look, I wash my hands after I do. Hello. Listen, why me? Why you got to throw this on me? And I really like to think, and I like to share, it had to be you. So why not you? Because you got to go through that so that you can feel grateful, that you can tell a person, hey, that's why this happened. You get what I'm saying? So absolutely. Has that ever been a time when you was like, yo, really? Why me now? And then now you can see it at a strategic view that it made sense.
Absolutely. I talk about that all the time. You know, anybody who knows me, that I can look back. It takes reflection. Let me say that. It takes reflection too. You know, looking back on those things in a different light and saying, okay, what did I learn from that? You know what I mean? What did I learn? And had I not gone through those things, would I be the person that I am today? Would I be in the position that I'm in today? Would I have the knowledge or the skills or the fortitude or the resilience that I have today had it not been for me going through all those things? People that have an easy life, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's just, you know, they don't have nothing, but when something does happen, they tend to fold a little bit because they haven't built any of the skills necessary to get through adversity, to overcome some things, and knowing that, you know, things will get better because they just never experienced that a lot. But for me, I used to say that all the time. I think I said on here, I was like, God, why me? Why? I used to call my mom. She'll tell you, and I cry. I'm like, Mom, why me? And she said, just what you said. Why not you? You were made for this. God knew you can handle it, and you're the person that needed to be there for this thing. And I'm like, but I'm tired. I don't want to go through this no more. And I'm so glad that I did, because at every juncture, every one of those major things, I had the lesson that I learned or the skills that I gained, the experience I needed for the next chapter in my life.
Come
or
on
for that
now.
next assignment or that person that I came in contact with. And then everybody always said, they'd be like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I can't make this stuff up. Y'all wouldn't believe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was all of those experiences. Hey, Mary, all of those experiences that really shaped me and gave me everything, all the tools that I needed to be successful in all of those situations. And so now I'm always like, I'm so grateful that I went through it, but I'm more grateful that I got through it.
That's the key.
You know, I'm more grateful that I got through it and I'm able to use those things to just continue to press on with life and then show other people you can go through some things. Life can knock you down, but let me tell you, to get back up is just so much greater. You know what I mean? It's so much. And so I am grateful. That happens to me a lot, Seth. And I know you've been through some things as well. You know, we talk offline and things like that. So share one of your experiences, because you've had some.
Yeah, I have a lot of them. As a matter of fact, too, I will let individuals know this before going into that. But in order for you to shine like a diamond, you need that pressure. You see,
absolutely.
That's how a diamond is made. If y'all didn't know, go back and YouTube it. You feel me?
Yeah.
But you need that pressure in order to shine. And so I really do believe that we're in the vessel to shine, but we need that pressure so we can break through it. So something that I had to do, and it took me a while to even wrap my mind around it. But so my great grandmother just recently passed a few days ago, and I mean, it broke me down to the point when my family told me, I couldn't say anything. Like, I would not let my mind take it and accept it. Like, but keep in mind, it was 96 years old, so that's inevitable. You feel me? But the thing is, it's like, nope. She was supposed to be there. She's supposed to stay there. So, of course, you guys know it's different levels of grieving, right? So I was most definitely in the first one as far as denial. Look, I saw the text. I knew what it was. But no, I didn't. It didn't matter because it didn't matter.
It happened.
If that makes sense, right? So it didn't matter. But I had to utilize what the gratitude truly means. So not only was I grateful for her being in my life, but she showed me that I needed that pressure, and just her being, watch this. Then now, hopefully y'all can dig this. If you can, put your hashtag dig it. She had to give me what I needed and then remove herself so I can do what I need to do.
Yes.
Check it out. Do you know how hard that is to even still? It hurts to even know that. Like, even my mother, when she passed last year, I'm like, yo, what is going on? Why are y'all leaving? So, but to look at it on a greater perspective, you're like, yo, they need to go so you can do.
Absolutely.
Now, so that pressure within itself, and this COVID and all this other crazy stuff that's happening is pushing you and creating the you that you need to be. So sometimes we are enabled by different things in different situations, but when those situations are removed, now you're able to live the way you need to live. And so I had to reflect on that, just to accept the fact my grandmother is gone. I'm like, damn it. Now I had to look back. All right, she told me this. Okay, I'm ready. So that's what that means.
I want to say, you said a couple of things, and I want to go back to Richard Sims' response about be careful about asking why. I used to think the same way, but why is a very important reflective question.
Yes.
It is very important. You have to know why, so that you can either not repeat it again, or you can learn the lesson and do what you need to do with it. Even in your situation, you just say, you know, why did they leave me? But then you turned around when you said that question. You said they left me because they gave me what I needed, and they had to move out of the way so that I can be who I am. So it's not a why. It's not a woe is me. And I don't believe that, you know, some things are going to come down on you. You have to know the why, because the why is your motivation behind doing anything. It is your motivation behind your behaviors, your actions, your choices. So why is a lot of people are afraid of the why.
Yeah, no, they are, because
it's scary, and you gotta dig deep for that why. And a lot of people that don't know the why, they end up being lost and frustrated and, you know, can't figure this thing, and they feel stuck. Once you know the why behind even things that happen, not just your why, you know, your purpose in life, but the why behind certain things happening, or have a greater perspective or a different level of awareness, you know, with yours and death, we all have to die. It's coming. We don't know when the time is, but why did they have to go? Maybe their purpose on this earth was fulfilled. And maybe there's something that's going to come out of that. So why? Don't be afraid of why.
And so
ask the why.
Yeah, right.
Ask the why.
So here's Richard. He says, all right, I'll give you the reason I said that. He says, it just occurred to me this week. In short, I took a spiritual spanking. And listen, let me tell you this though, too, Rich. That is the point. Right. And so I want to say that in line with this. Okay. What's next? Because when you ask why me, get ready for the answer, because life, God, the universe, whatever you want to say, is going to show you, because see, you ask it. So I get what you're saying, but meaning that you have to be ready for what you ask for. You dig? So when you do ask, be ready, because something is going to show you. Oh yeah, you remember you wanted to know? Wow, there you go. That's why. And then when you get that 2-piece to the chin, you realize that was meant for you.
Absolutely.
And then you were built. Watch this. You was built for it. See? Yeah. But you got to go through it. Watch out. You got to go through it to get through it.
That's right.
You know? And listen, y'all, real talk, we put so much craziness and complexity in life when it's really that simple, right? It ain't rocket science, right? It's a science, but it ain't rocket science. But once you understand the method behind it, then you're like, okay, cool. This person over here is acting a plum fool and making me mad, but they're making me mad because I shouldn't be mad. So I have to, watch this. This person is going to continuously get on your nerves until they don't get on your nerves no more.
It's your choice.
Right. So watch this. Right. See? And then so you're saying to yourself, self, and you're saying back to yourself, huh? Right. And then so why is this fool messing with me? Because this fool is able to mess with you.
Because you're giving him the power to do so. I just had this conversation.
Hey, look, you can't change a fool. Hey, you can't. Because listen, a fool is going to be a fool because a fool is a fool.
It's a fool. That's what fools do. They do foolish stuff.
Right. And then guess what? If two fools make a baby, they're going to make a baby fool. So the thing is, you have to hold yourself accountable to say, hey, I'm not going to let this fool me again. So
there you go.
Question why?
Did y'all dig that? Did y'all catch that?
Hey, message. I don't know if they got it, but if you get it, if you didn't get it, watch the replay right on, because things are going to continuously happen until you can go back and just say, you know what? I'm glad that person did what they did, because I didn't know I was struggling in this area. And then think about this. We may be praying on our knees. Look, knees bleeding. Watch this. Knees bleed, and I mean crusty bleeding. You pray. And then you're getting everything that you need so that you can stand up and realize that's what I've been praying for. Now I need to do the work.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go back to Richard. He just posted on here, I asked God, why me? And the answer, why not you? That was the same thing my mom used to say. But in that response, it says, I didn't have an answer. So the response, when you provide your answer, I'll provide the answer you seek. That is a reflective question. Causing you there takes some action. You have to go back and you have to figure it out. Ask the why. You have to ask the why. 21 whys if you need to get to the answer. And once you understand that, then in your case, I know that you talked about the spiritual, so you're a man of faith. God can help you along the way. That's you know, he ain't gonna do everything for you. You got to do the work. You got to sit down and figure it out, you know, the why until you can, so that he can teach you the lesson. You know what I mean? Or you can learn the lesson. So you're saying the same thing. And those things are, it's a very important question. And it's not to spank you, it's to teach you, and to help you to move forward in a different way. So just a different perspective again. You know what I mean? We get caught up in that, and, you know, spiritual spankings are discipline. You know what I mean? To say, you can't do that again, or you need to do it differently. That's and so when we learn that, we can't go that, because boom, I ran into a door. Boom, I got my hand spanked.
Like, okay, you almost got it, but nope, not yet.
not yet, not quite.
No, you're getting it. Wait, no, not that way. And then you will keep getting. Look, watch this. You remember, and I hate to say, y'all remember on Baby's Kids when it was supposed to be Robin Harris, he was like, he put on that old Lou Rawls tape and said, "Slap you when I want up, when I want up, when I want." It's gonna keep happening until you get up.
Exactly.
When I want up. So that's what's gonna happen. but you feel me? That's what's happening. So
it's important. You have to know that why, and that's a teachable moment. And so some people are afraid of it, because if he didn't have to, kind of convict you and then tell you need to find that why, then you probably wasn't doing what you were supposed to do anyway. So you need that why. You need to know all of those things. I don't know if we got off track or what, but it's important.
Feel gratitude. You got to be grateful for those.
Grateful for the lessons. Yes. Grateful for the discipline, grateful for, those LORs, thankful for, those people that tried to hold you back, but you learned how to overcome, all of those things, but you got to know the why. You got to know the why. It's so important. So yes. So I know we was going on. So what we got next, Seth?
No. You got the next point.
Yeah. I got the next point. So this is funny because the next point actually is the challenges of gratitude. And everybody thinks that it's so simple, or, like he said, it's so simple, it's science, but it's not rocket science. But a lot of people have, no, Richard, you didn't cause a distraction. Let me stop and say that. It was necessary for this conversation. So thank you for being honest.
This is what we're doing because we're learning. You get what I'm saying? And we're able to connect with individuals that may think like you and that may not. But it's good to have this type of dialogue. So no, you're on point.
On point and different perspectives. That's how we all learn from each other, And so with that being said, those challenges, some people, they start off and they're like, oh, I can just do this. I can get up and say what I'm grateful for. And then they find out that they're having some conflict. They're not sure why it's so hard for them to find just 3 things that they're grateful for in a day. A couple of things is sometimes when you're starting something for the first time, I have a couple of different challenges that you might encounter. When you're starting something for the first time, it feels forced, right? So it feels forced and nobody wants to feel uncomfortable. Like, am I really saying thank you for waking me up like things like that. And so, and then they try to do it too frequently. And then they get burnt out really, really quickly. Like, oh, this ain't nothing, because they're not taking the time to really go through the emotion of it. They're just saying the words, but going through the emotion of it. And then also taking that time to reflect. So with that being said, when you face a challenge like that, the best thing that you can do is to reevaluate the frequency of it.
Yes.
Okay. It may not be every day for you. Maybe one time a week is good enough to express gratitude, for the things, or maybe you can just do a collective, you know what I mean? Like, okay, over the week, can I find 3 things instead of 3 things per day? Sometimes also challenges are, we do it at the wrong time. So some people want to, say, okay, first thing in the morning, start your day off right. You want to say, here are the things that you're grateful for. Well, some people first thing in the morning is not when they're at their best. Yes, it can change your mood and everything, but if that's not your time, you're least likely to continue to do that. So maybe it's before you go to bed, during your prayer time or your meditation time or your time alone or whatever, that you take that time and you sit down and say, okay, now I'm rested. I've had my whole day. I'm a little more alert, even though I'm trying to wind down. Now I can find 3 things since the day has already passed that I can be grateful for, and I can look back and see something in there. So frequency and time is very important when you're facing challenges. All right. Another thing is, it's kind of it challenges some of your beliefs. All right. So there's one that gratitude can kind of be at odds with some of your old beliefs and things like that. You have some of those people that are very self-serving, right? So it's about me. When good things happen to them, it's because of what they did. When bad things happen to them, it's because of what other people did.
Somebody did it wrong.
Somebody else did it wrong. But what gratitude forces you to do because gratitude is not self-serving at all. Gratitude forces you to recognize other people who have contributed to your gratitude. I mean, to your thankfulness, whatever good that happened, you know, that meaning, that person that was behind it. And some people that are very selfish and self-serving have a hard time giving other people credit for the good things that happen to them.
That's ego.
It is, it is, but it's the real thing. And so that can get in the way of them being able to express gratitude when they're going through like specific, what do you call them? Exercises that say why you're grateful, say why it's meaningful to you, say who contributed to your gratitude. And then, do they know?
Yeah.
A self-serving person don't want to go and tell somebody else that you the person that got me this job or whatever. They want to believe that it was on their own, you know, accord. Yeah. So that's another challenge that may come across, you know, or that some people may come across. I know we don't have any self-serving people on here, but I'm just saying you might know somebody. You might know somebody. And then there's another challenge that it might really kind of go against your need to control everything.
Yep.
Because, excuse me, with gratitude, you just have to accept it like it is. Be grateful for what is. You know, even when things don't go bad, go right or whatever, you know, you couldn't control that situation. When you express gratitude, you know what? I'm accepting what it is. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the person who did X, Y, and Z, you know, whatever. Thank you for revealing that why to me. And you just have to accept it. And for people who have to control every aspect of their life, that might be difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Might be very, very difficult. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about in terms of gratitude is gratitude comes with the realization that we get more than we deserve. There are a lot of people out there who just say like, you know, it's a good thing that we don't get what we deserve. Or there are some people that says, I'm grateful because I get far more than I deserve. And when you express gratitude, that's typically it. I know I'm not deserving of all of the good things that have come my way this day, but I'm grateful that I got them anyway. You know, I'm thankful that I wasn't qualified, but this person gave me the opportunity anyway. And so there are some challenges in your own thinking, your past thinking, that may hinder your ability to practice gratitude exercises. But when you recognize them and you continue to do that, be intentional and deliberate, like you said, Seth, then you're more likely to be able to find the rhythm that works for you. The frequency that works for you. Challenge, why do I believe this? And why is it so hard for me to express gratitude, which challenges your beliefs, and you have to reframe your thinking in order to get over that. So, you know, gratitude is not rocket scientist, but there are challenges. And you have to be aware that it's not easy for everybody to get up and say, even when I do classes, I know you do them too, Seth, but like when we do the gratitude exercise and you go, I want everyone to write down 3 things that they're grateful for. How many times have you had people that says, I don't have anything, or I can only come up with 1? You give them 30 minutes and they can only come up with 1.
You know what?
How many times does that happen?
Honestly, the way that I start the class, I don't get nothing. Or I don't have that, because what I do is I kind of let them know how it should not be hard. And I kind of, I give them information to let them see it at the holistic view of what gratitude truly means versus for them to just search for it. Because if a person don't know what gratitude look like and they searching for it, they're going to have a hard time trying to identify it. So I haven't had that experience.
I've had it, even though, you know, gratitude is one of my favorite things to teach. And I can go through sometimes all of the you know, what gratitude is and all the things that we can be thankful for, not on a material level or whatever. But some people are struggling. And they're in deep depression. They don't know their purpose on life. I don't even know why I'm here. And they just cannot find anything to be grateful for. Those people I take aside and we work on some things, you know, to try to help them to find that and to do. And I've had success. But in those classes, if I'm honest, you know, all of them don't. They can't come up with 3 things, even after a whole explanation. But when it comes to depression, I have to always tell them too, depression, anxiety, and things like that, expressing gratitude specifically targets those feelings, and it changes those things because it forces you to look outside of yourself.
Yeah.
It forces your whole mood to look up. When I go by, I told you guys before this, and I'm gonna say this real quick, Seth. But when I learned this technique that you know how people walk by and they say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, you don't stop to ever listen for a response or anything like that. You just keep going. I always listen for the response and I respond to them and I turn my body and they're like, oh, the other thing I started saying was not just good morning, which is a one word answer, could be a one word answer, but what's going well for you today? And everybody goes, oh, and I stop. So what's going well for you today? And they'd be like, oh, let me think. And then their smile, they look up like this. So instead of looking down and everything's gone, and especially when I see people with, you know, like kind of head hang down, what's going well for you today? They're like, And it literally changes everything in that moment. And then there's a lot of people that go, thank you for that. Thank you for that. So I understanding that changed my approach as well. But there are people that just can't. And I don't know if I'm just, you know, why me? Why me? Why do I get the ones that can't find gratitude?
Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. I don't know. And I mean, maybe I would say maybe those individuals is, you know, they're challenging to you for maybe to help you to have those sideline conversations with them. You know, maybe they need something that's a little bit more in depth. You know,
maybe they're my assignment.
There you go. There you go. Maybe it's something and someone that you have to really, really focus on.
And it usually is. It usually is much deeper than just a little thing. So I know that why, but that happens to me often.
Oh yeah, it happens. You know, and so, but you said something that that really made some sense. Let me see. We just want to go through these comments. Yo, we do thank y'all too for these comments. Make sure y'all give them these hearts if you like it, right? If you like and love them, give them these hearts, right? We appreciate you. We do appreciate you. But yes, this is some real good stuff. And so listen, ladies and gentlemen, Camille said something that really resonated with me. Two things, right? The first thing is when you have to tell, well, you don't have to do anything, but when it's a struggle for you to identify those individuals that help enable you to do the things that you're doing. Like if individuals played a part in your success, ask yourself, why is it hard? Because sometimes people will utilize this statement. This is how they started off. In my mind, I don't want them to think. Listen, just that alone, you are already setting yourself up for failure. Okay, listen, and I'm gonna say it again slowly. In my mind, I don't want them to think ... Stop yourself. This is the sanity check. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Stop yourself. Right on. Because first of all, you can't stop nobody from thinking nothing, and you will never know what a person is thinking. So no matter what comes out of your mouth, you won't be able to change what a person is thinking. The only thing you can control is the things that you say in your intentions. You understand? So if your intentions are pure and it's coming from love, I'm gonna say it again. When your intentions are pure and it's coming from love, you don't have to worry about what they're thinking because you can drop it and forget it. Let them pick up the pieces. Can you dig it? It ain't your fault, or it's not your job to drop it and show them what you dropped and want them to see the value in what you said. No, say, hey, look, if it wasn't for you, I would not have done this or been able to do this. So I appreciate you. High five them. Well, don't get COVID. Elbow them and keep it pushing. It's okay. You know, see, think about this. Some people say, well, look, I don't want them to think I'm trying to hit on them. Get out yourself, right? Stop it, right? And then watch this. Even if they start to think that way and they approach it that way, check them. Like, no, don't take that the wrong way. I appreciate what you did, but you ain't my man. Don't want one, got one, keep it pushing. You see? So don't stop yourself from being authentic just because you are afraid of what somebody else go think. Do you know how crazy that sounds to yourself? You see? And then the other thing you said, Camille, that was extremely, extremely paramount was the frequency. Okay, the frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to understand the difference between frequency and intensity. So you can want to run, or you can want to run, but you're always walking. So you can walk every day, but it's up to you to determine the intensity to get your desired result. So you can do the same thing every day and don't receive anything. Why? Because you got to turn up your intensity. You can do something every day. It can become a habit, but if you don't see the benefits of it, maybe your intensity is low. You see? So you have to bring up your intensity and match it with your frequency so that you can see the benefit of changing that habit.
And your intentionality.
Yeah.
So turn up the intention, the intensity, and the frequency.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can, and also to that point too, people get they try to do the same thing all the time.
Yes.
You know, and Seth, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but you know, it doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be mundane. You know, just like workouts, you exercise different muscles, right? Absolutely. So you can't just always do biceps because then you have these big old arms and then you have these chicken legs, which I can't stand by the way. But anyway, work out the whole body. You know, the whole body. You can do different exercises to work out different things. So gratitude doesn't have to look the same all the time. So I get bored with the same thing over and over and over for long periods of time. So I got to switch it up sometime. Yeah. So we'll talk about how to do that in a little bit. But yeah, so all of that stuff. So frequency, intensity, and type.
Yes, yes. So look, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing too I'm going to talk about is different ways to actually do this, right? And to intensify your gratitude and your consistency of your gratitude. Here's another way, something that you probably know but never really thought about, and that's volunteering. So look, check it out. For many people, the key to having more gratitude is to give back to others in their local community. Look, you don't have to, like I said, it doesn't have to be grandiose. You can go in your own backyard. There's people that don't have what you have and that you can share, or you can reflect on, yo, I'm grateful for having this because I can see what it looked like to not have it. So not only will it make you more grateful for the things that you may take for granted, but studies have shown that volunteering for a purpose of helping others increase your own well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're trying to do on Sanity Check. Okay, keep you right, and thus our ability to have more gratitude. So for example, we're able to, especially when it comes down to volunteering. So in the Sanity Check, what we try to do is not Sanity Check. Yes, even the Sanity Check in the Lion's Den, we want to make sure we get from behind the mic and get in front of the mic and actually utilize our voice, but with our intention so that it can translate into the world, into the community. So how do you do that? Volunteer, giving time. Because if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the most valuable resources on earth. Why? Because you can never get more of it. You're right. You can't get more of it and you can't get it back. So by giving your time to individuals that, you know, that can use it, right? That helps. It reverberates. And then not only are you able to reflect on what you do have, you can also say, hey, you know what? I'm grateful that I'm able to do. So it's not all about you. I'm grateful that I'm able to do. So when you're counting those things that you wish you had and start counting the things that you do have, some of the things that you do have, watch this, you don't even need no more. So, right, because you didn't get your use or your feel out of it. And then it might have been a place when you were, it might have been a time when you were operating in a lower level, right, of awareness. So you got some mess that you really didn't need. But now that you're dialed in with the Sanity Check, you can realize, hold on, I don't need this. Somebody else could use it. Watch this.
Perfect time for cleaning.
Yes.
Cleaning out all those things that you have not used in the last 6 months to a year that you could donate and help, you know, give to somebody else who doesn't. This is the perfect season for that.
This is the time to do that. And this is the time to do that. So that's what I want you guys to really think about. That's another way that you can practice gratitude. Just giving. Look at the stuff you got. Listen, watch this. Do you know that people say, you know what, Lord blessed me with all these groceries? First of all, you only got one mouth. Now, if you got a family, you got a couple of mouths to feed, but maybe you have been blessed to bless others. Come on now. See, now look, that's a little bit of reality that people don't like to hear, because the chances are you probably got more than you need. let's be for real, right? So if you're able and you have more than what you need, maybe it's for someone else. And because you're gonna, isn't that what the whole abundance means? It's not an abundance for you to keep crazy, because you can't do nothing with all of it.
Nope. And look, I tell people all the time, my prayer is, God, increase so that I may continue to help more people. It takes something to be able to give. You know, I only have so much. So right now I'd be like, well, stretch what I got, because you know my heart, and I'd be giving everything away and trying to help everybody. But I'd be like, at some point I had to say, you know what? I need some more abundance so that I continue, so it can flow through me. You know, I love that John Maxwell, be a river, not a reservoir. You know, you don't store up everything for yourself. That stuff should come through you. And it's given. Everything I believe that we get is for someone else. You know, all of our gifts, talents, whatever. But that's a whole nother, we talk a little bit about that. But
that makes sense. So you see what I'm saying? That makes sense, because at the end of the day, what you gonna do with all of it?
Exactly.
Watch it and see. It goes back to the to the intentions.
Yes.
Do you want to keep it all to say you ain't got it? See, do you want to get certain things just to show people this is what I have and you don't have it? So that means you the fool. And that means, in real talk, you're actually hold on, let me make sure the mic is here. Here, watch this. Watch this, y'all. If you are gaining things just to show people that you have something that they don't, do you know you are still lacking?
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, now,
I wonder why people still empty on the inside when they got all this stuff on the outside.
Still lacking. So watch this. No matter how much stuff you got, you are still lacking with the things that truly matter. Look, hold on. Let me get my own message. You get what I'm saying? I want to make sure y'all can dig this. If your whole intentions is to show somebody else what they ain't up on because you up on it, that means you the one that's lacking, not them.
Absolutely. You need to figure out what that void is, because it's in you, not them. You know, you'll always try to find stuff to fill that void. And it doesn't work that way. You know, when your intentions are pure, when you do things because it's the right thing to do, and sometimes just because you want it, not because of what other people think or what they want, then, you know, you'll be blessed for that. But those people that it's just about this, and you end up running out because you done bought up everything trying to impress everybody, and now you broke with a bunch of stuff and trying to figure out how to pay your next bill. You got all this credit card debt, hundreds and thousands of dollars of credit card debt for trying to keep up with the Joneses, which we talked about before, and you still empty. You still hurting on the inside. You still ain't got nothing here, no substance, and there's nothing material that can fulfill you. It is an internal job.
See, internal job. Look, say the one. Listen, I don't know if y'all heard that, because I was probably typing and still trying to pick up what we dropped about 5 minutes ago. But say that one more time, Camille.
I just said ain't nothing. You know, the material stuff is not going to fill you. It's an internal job. You know, it's doing the right thing, is finding fulfillment. Stuff cannot fulfill you no matter how much you try. You know, it's those feelings of love, of joy, of happiness, of giving, of gratitude, of, you know, just thankfulness, forgiveness, peace. All of those things is what makes you really feel fulfilled. Knowing your purpose, knowing your why, figuring out the whys in the situations, and then using all of those things to live out the life you were created to live. That is what gives you fulfillment and happiness and purpose. Your heart has to be in the right place.
Got to be in the right place. Yeah. And a lot of times too, to get your mind or to get your heart in the right place, you have to ask yourself and be willing to hear it. Right. Now, it's one thing to ask, and then to hear it is something different. So watch this. You have to be able to ask yourself, what type of result do I want from this? If you say what I want from this is to look a certain way to other people, that's out of line. If you want to receive external validation, right, or accolades from someone else, that's out of line. You see? But if you say, you know what, I really want to help people, or I want to help someone because I was in a place where I needed that too. So watch this. I know how it feel. So I don't listen. Watch this. Check it out, y'all. Watch it here. If you done been through some hell, real hell. And I mean, men through it, not currently going through, or maybe currently, but if you truly are feeling the burn or got the tattoo to show that you done been through the mess, chances are you don't want to see nobody go through that mess. You feel me? So if you can say, hey, I really do want to help someone or help this group or this organization because I've been there and I'm a walking testimony and I can't help, ding, 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 ding. There it is. You see?
Yep. And you open up a floodgate of blessings for yourself. It's a blessing to be a blessing. You know, when you give, it does something for the receiver and the giver, you know, and I noticed that when I give and it's from the right place, intentions, I am not without. I have never experienced lack in there. Even if I was down to my last and I decided to give because it was the right thing to do. I promise you, checks in the mail that I didn't even know were coming. You know, I go to the mailbox, $500, $73, $1,000. And I'm like, where did this come from? You know, I've been waiting on, you know, months and months for my income tax. And then all of a sudden it shows up when I need it, you know, or stuff like this. And so I feel like when you give, you know, you get that thing back, you know, you reap what you sow. And I've never been without, you know, just without when I've just given and because it was the right thing to do. Given. Now I'm not saying go and be broke every time. I'm not saying that. You got to keep something for yourself. But I hope you guys get the intent of what I'm saying. And so it's just so important to do things from the right place and to show gratitude for that, because, you know, people are doing stuff for you. And if they never hear a thank you or I appreciate you, you block your blessings.
See?
You know, or if it's self-serving, and we hear it all the time, you know, oh, they only doing this because they want to get accolades. They want to do this, and that. They always trying to be up in so-and-so face. People can see through that. And then doors will begin to close because your heart is not in the right place. You know, if you do it from a sincere place, doors will just open for you that you didn't even know were there. And you'll be able to walk right in because your intentions are right. You know what I mean? It's not for other people. It's for you. I'm quirky. I say that all the time. You know what I mean? And I had to learn just to love me. I don't try to look like nobody. I see, you know, people, and please don't take offense to this, you know, same, I mean, talking about anybody, but you know, same Erica, everybody is a dime a dozen. I don't want to be a dime a dozen. I just want to be me. I don't got to put on all the makeup. I don't got to do all the fancy stuff or whatever. I put on a little bit of jewelry here, paparazzi, $5 jewelry. But I don't do all of that because I just learned to be comfortable with me, the way that God made me, the way, you know, I spruce up a little bit. But it's nothing like being your authentic self. And doing things because it's just right for you. And so it's just been, you know, I've learned a lot over this last, you know, few years. And, you know, no matter what you're going, we were just talking about too, you know, I always say that sometimes an airman can have a greater impact than, you know, someone in a senior position, you know, so don't minimize that thing that has been given to you. You know, it's not about who else sees it or whatever. You can literally save a life or 10 or 20 when other people just couldn't do that because their intentions are not right, or they just half did it, or they just whatever. But the fact that you were there, you had that impact on the person may mean everything. And then, you know, we talk about this whole thing. You change one person, you can change a whole generation, you know, because they teach their children different. They teach their children different. They teach their children. It might not be a generation across the world, but it'll be a generation of a family. And that can have a huge impact. So intention is everything for me now. That's like my word, intention.
That's it. And that's what it should be. And then, you know, the intentions does connect. And you know what it is? It's like the whole energy thing is it cannot be created or destroyed. It can just be, you know, just move. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to think about your intentions in being gratitude and showing gratitude. First, practicing it, then showing it. And then when you show it, it will continue. Because if it's coming from the right place, it's almost like, you know, that old pressure cooker or whatever it is, you can set it, then you can forget it because it's from the right place. You ain't got to keep checking in on it because you already did what you needed to do. You took something that you learned or something that you received and you put it into perspective and you really used it to reflect on your purpose.
Absolutely.
Now you can put it on out there and watch what happens.
Watch what happens.
You're creating a chain reaction, and it will continue. It will continue because the right people will connect to that intention.
Absolutely.
To the one that
you just watch. It happens.
And so even with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to think about this and share. Please share this and, give your hearts and everything. I want you guys to realize there's some things that you put out in the atmosphere years ago. Watch this. Years ago that people are still being able to benefit from.
Absolutely.
See, watch this. It's not your job to see if they're still benefiting from it, but they're able to. And the way that you can know is when they reach back and say, you know what? You remember what you did in the 80s?
Yeah.
That was dope. Or do you remember what you did for this other person? I saw what you did for this other person. I utilized the skills that they didn't use. That was dope. You see what I'm saying? But when you're doing things from the right place, it's going to connect to the right people. And it's going to continue.
Absolutely. I just got a phone call like that from two phone calls from a couple of past troops. And it was, you didn't have to do that. I'm so glad to see them talking to me, progressing and doing well. The impact you had on my life was tremendous. And I just wanted to reach back and tell you, how much I appreciate you. And I'm like, I was like, I would have done it for you or anybody else, but it was like, but you did it for me and I appreciate it. And so, that in turn is like, at some point, that, what you're doing is making an impact, is changing lives, is, paving the way for someone else, is, healing the brokenhearted. And so it's all worth it, but it's not a self-serving attitude. It's just, I know that this is my purpose. And therefore, I continue to do what I do. Yeah. And so, you can't minimize those things. And sometimes you'll never know. You'll never know. And you might, but that you did everything that you could in that situation. And you hope that, people are still carrying on. So, it's awesome. And I don't know where we're going right here, Seth, but we were talking about different ways to show gratitude. And I just want to share a couple things, if you don't mind.
All right.
So, gratitude journals, and this is going back to just giving you guys some practical uses or exercises on how to show gratitude or how to do it, to kind of mix it up. We talked about volunteering, we talked about getting all those things, but something as simple as a gratitude journal. Every day writing something down that you're grateful for, and then being able to go back and reflect on that it has literally all those health benefits after just a week and then a month of doing things like that. It has shown those reduction in stress, being able to sleep better, all those types of things. So something as simple as just writing something down or writing a handwritten letter to someone that you may not have expressed to them before. It takes you out of yourself, like we were talking about before. Writing them a handwritten letter and saying, this is why I'm grateful for you. And if you can, hand deliver that letter to them and possibly sit down and have a conversation about it. You meant this to me, and I just want to say thank you. You don't know how that changes you and how it changes that other person. And maybe they needed that in that moment. That's another great way to show gratitude. And me and my daughter were sitting down, and my friend, we're sitting down at the table talking one day, and I made breakfast and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go around the table and say what we're grateful for today. And I expected, really, because I have tried it before with my kid, I expected one of those kind of like, oh, this is cheesy. But it was like, no, let's do it. And then when I thought I was done, my daughter's like, oh, wait, no, we got to do this. And I was like, and it literally changed the whole atmosphere at our table. So even with your children, just doing, gratitude exercises, like you were saying earlier, around the table, just, I don't know if it was you, but I can't remember anyway. But around the table, just asking it, what are you thankful for? And then I went through the process of, why is it meaningful to you? Why did it mean so much to you? And who contributed to that? And then it was like, at the end, she was like, oh, maybe I need to call my mom, her stepmom. Maybe I need to call my mom. Maybe I need to call my grandpa. I think I'm going to go call my grandpa, and so she went back and made her think about that and make those phone calls and say, hey, how you doing? And so that was really, really powerful to me, very powerful to me. So things like that, it could be just really, really simple stuff. Recalling the negative event, like we talked about, and how you appreciate what you found, you know what I mean? What kind of, contributed to your growth from that adversity. Things like sticky notes, affirmations. We talked about that in the beginning. Just thankfulness is an affirmation of certain things. So doing some of those things, focusing on others, taking yourself out of it. There are just so many things. And even, and I'm gonna say this, even a wave and a smile. My mom put on here that, she saw me walk and she came down and walked with me for a while, and I wave at everybody I see and everything. And you see the responses and they're like, hey, but even a wave and a smile, I see you. I appreciate you being here. Have a great day. Can change an entire life. So I just wanted to give you guys some other things, and you guys can go and check out some stuff too. But Seth, I know you have some more. Is there anything else that you can give them that you want to, that they can, practice that's out of the norm, so to speak, than just saying, I'm grateful for these 3 things?
You know what I would say? I will say too, for our listeners, and hopefully you guys are, appreciating this. And if this means anything to you, please make sure you comment and say, hey, I love this, or this works, or I never thought about it this way. And what I will give you is a challenge. I challenge you to practice it today. See how it feels. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a space so that you can put into, on our page, right? On the Sanity Check page, how you felt after practicing gratitude or showing gratitude, because it goes both ways. First, you have to identify it, then you can show it, then you can appreciate it. You get what I'm saying? So I challenge you to find a way to do that, but to let us know what it did for you. Right? Even today, what did this do for you? What did this do? Did it put something into perspective? Like, you know what? I have been acting kind of crazy. Like I have been taking individuals or situations for granted, right? I have not said to this person, hey, I do appreciate you. You know that, don't you? And saying it, not just saying it, but saying it to know that you're connecting with that person. And keep in mind, not everyone will receive things the same way. So understand your audience. You get what I'm saying? Understand the individual that you're talking to. So you have to be able to connect with the person. But I challenge you to do that. Do that today. And then let us know, hey, this is how I felt. I appreciate you guys, because I end up talking to an old friend, or I end up talking to someone that I normally talk to every day, and finally told them I appreciate them. And this is where the conversation went.
Absolutely. So and I want to say this too.
I challenge you guys to do that, and then let us know how it made you feel. Okay.
Absolutely. And I just want to say this too, because we talked about it before, but gratitude, expressing it. And I see Ardrina said that she was going to write an apology letter. And so I just want to take the time to, and I think that's awesome. And Sunita, thank you for the expression of gratitude to me too. Means the most. But I just want to say this: when we do these things, and when we take the time to do a gratitude letter or write an apology, remember, like he said, they may not be in a space to receive it, but know that you've done your part. So release it. Let it go. Don't get upset. And then, all this thing that you went into in the gratitude letter or whatever, don't let it derail you from the fact that you've done your part. You reached out, you apologized, you told them all the things that, yes, we had this problem, but, I'm still grateful for you. If they don't accept it, that's not on you. You've done it, and just be okay with knowing that you reached out and you tried. So I just want people to don't get derailed from it. If the other person isn't in a place to receive it, in a great way or whatever, don't get derailed. Don't let it, distract you or kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, Seth? Keep you from continuing to do these gratitude exercises. Continue to do them, because I tell you, if you write that letter, you do that apology, they may be like, I don't accept nothing, but it's going to resonate with them. So they're going to think about that thing for a while, and it may change over time.
Yeah. So, and I agree with that. I would like to also add too, ladies and gentlemen, that when you do say thank you, okay, when you do say thank you, or you do show appreciation, that's your job.
Yes.
Everything after that is not your job. So I am a firm believer that the God in you knows how to connect with the God in other individuals, but get yourself out of the effects of it. Meaning you can't expect people to dig what you didn't dug, because watch this, there was a time when you didn't either.
Yes.
So, and I've said this before, that not everybody wakes up to the same alarm clock. So just because you woke, that don't mean the next person gonna be woke, right? But if it's coming from the right place, boom, they're going to get it. But
it may awaken something in them.
Yeah, it just may, and so that understand what your job is when you're truly showing appreciation and truly showing gratitude. Because think about it, some of you may had to see what practicing gratitude truly means today. So now that you're doing that and it's been introduced to you today, you may introduce this to someone else that may not be as receptive, but give it to them and then go on about your business, because your mission is not over. You see, let the work do whatever it's supposed to do. Don't worry your little self around. Well, in my mind, I can't tell this person this because I don't want them to feel this. Stop it. You're putting too much of yourself in something that it can operate in. So watch this. Your pride and your true intentions cannot operate and stay in the same place at the same time. It can't work. That's like, it don't make sense. It's like reality TV. That's an oxymoron.
Yes.
Reality TV, stop it. But they put it together in your face and you think it's hot, but it ain't. So when it comes down to true intentions and ego, you have to identify what you're truly doing and what is the result that you want to get out of that. So what you got for the final word, Camille, before we wrap it on up?
Okay, so I'm just going to address one thing you said. Gratitude practice is super, when you're feeling that, the angry, it's hard to be angry and happy at the same time. Mm-hmm. Have you ever tried it? You're like, even, and I'm going to say, even in the loss of somebody, when you go and people are going down memory lanes, even though it's a sad time, they're laughing and everything. And then later on, the sadness comes, but then they start laughing about other stuff. It is hard to have the positive and negative dwell in the same space, in the same temple, in the same mind at the same time. It just doesn't happen. So choose happiness, choose gratitude, choose thankfulness. But I just want to say, before we get off of here, thank you guys. And I say this all the time, and I truly mean it. Thank you for constantly supporting this platform, for sharing, for giving other people the goodness, for coming on and giving us the comments and things like that. We constantly want to do the best we can for you. It would not be what it is without you. And I am eternally grateful for you. And I want you guys to mean that. I say it all the time because I do mean it, that I mean it from the bottom of my heart. We would not be in the position that we're in if it wasn't for you. There's a podcast, but if there's no audience, then what good is it? You know what I mean? So thank you for coming on. And we hope that we continue to give you good stuff, that will help you to navigate life, get those weekly sanity checks. And again, if you know somebody who could benefit, please share to your groups, let your church friends know, let your other friends know, work friends or whatever, and have them come on. And we want to hear from you guys sometimes. So call us sometimes.
Right.
Happy Thanksgiving to you all as well. Yes.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, like she said, please continue to share this because we need to make sure that you get this. And I want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you and watch this. I want to thank you for giving. You understand? I want to thank you for giving your time, your Saturday morning, your attention, your correspondence, just like she said, your interaction. This means a lot. So, because that means that when we have opportunities to grow, that means we're growing together. You understand? So we want to make sure we give you your roses and your applause today. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Because without you, we wouldn't be who we are today. So, with that being said, I want to extend the opportunity for you to make sure that you share this, be engaged, connect with each other. All right, connect with each other on the podcast or on the Facebook page, because that's our goal. That's our goal, to do that. Okay, and I really, really do appreciate you all. And without further ado,
don't forget to post your gratitude results on the gratitude page when we post it.
Yes, don't forget to do it, because look, we gonna do it and then we don't want to see crickets, right? Because all y'all do, and look, no pressure. Again, no pressure. But what it is accountability. Okay, accountability, because you all are giving some good, nuggets. So let's hold each other accountable. Like, for example, Giovanni, I appreciate you being on. Listen, I'm grateful that you posted that chicken you posted the other day. Like, look, this is how it's made. And I mean, I was mad because, see, I'm going through this whole, this whole diet type thing. And then I saw that chicken. Let me get myself out of it. But I want to say thank you, though. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. And thank you all, right, for being who you are. But yes, we are going to post that gratitude and just, hey, engage. It's all good. And it's all love. All right. So you guys have a great, great, great Saturday, and we will see you soon.
Bye.